You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit GearHandle.com and use promo code H2O today. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Still. It is Friday. It's one of those that ain't right Fridays. So I just kind of picked something here. There is a cracked article by Corey Montgomery written October 26, 2023. King of the Hill characters ranked by how likely they've had a closeted goth phase. So how likely was it that these people were goths at one point? So we start. It says upon further investigation, though, it appears that this is always lurking beneath the surface, waiting for journalists to pry back the dusty floorboard. So this is all made up, but they're just they're just saying this is kind of like the one we did the other day.
Yeah, for sure.
Cotton Hill.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, Cotton's traditional to the point being offensive outlook on most things. Chances are he'd be appalled by goth culture. So we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
He throws his entire body through the window of a Hot Topic before beating the cashier over their use of eyeliner. Bug Gribble. Now we got somewhere. That could have been a thing, but I think he's too old.
Too old for that subculture, yeah, because that subculture is more of 80s. I feel like late Gen X millennial thing.
Sure. It does say if you asked him if he had a goth phase in his youth, he'd probably respond with some flippant claim that he invented the entire subculture.
Because I know you're a Gen X.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that Gen X, I don't believe it started that early in the Gen X culture because you guys are still coming up off of doo-wop. And
doo-wop, you say?
Well, early 60s
I never
music?
had any doo-wop.
Early 60s music?
I was born in 1969. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're born in 69, yeah. Okay.
Halfway through the year.
My math was wrong. I thought it was
no doo-wop here. No. More flower power type stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, number 48, Clark Peters. It says Clark Peters, a lot of people think that Clark Peters has a ponytail, but it's actually pinned back devil lock. He dyed it blonde because, unlike conventional goths, Clark likes to pave his own path. So they do believe that Clark could have a goth phase. Gilbert.
Clark, I can see Clark being a goth. Not even in a phase. He's like the character Clark Peters.
I am so
To me,
sad.
if you look at him, he Clark Peters has to be gothic already.
I'm so sad. Then you get Gilbert Fontaine Dautrieve. It says he's basically already a goth, except for his garish suits. He lives in an old-ass and literally gothic house. He hides in darkly lit rooms while chain-smoking and has always had some morose commentary about everything he sees.
Yeah, back to Clark
Peters.
Peters.
That one's easy.
Back to Clark Peters.
Clark.
So I looked up a picture of him real fast because, we keep our handy-dandy Artie notebook in front of us here that Artie got me. That Artie donated. It's got him in a black shirt.
Yeah.
and he's got his hair shaved.
Oh.
He's got like a little hair
yeah,
piece here
yeah.
with a ponytail here, and then he's got it shaved, and he's got a rat tail at the bottom.
When he puts it down,
So-
I bet that hair goes right over one eye.
Yeah,
You know?
so I'm saying that, and he's got on industrial work boots,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's got shorts to right at the knee,
Mm-hmm.
green, army green, like an olive colored short. So to me,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he already is like going into like pre-goth phase, because they're middle school kids. You're still wearing, you still got kids wearing like Pokemon, Power Ranger,
Sure.
Blues Clues. You're
Blues Clues.
You didn't watch Blues Clues?
I did. With my
I thought it was a
children.
really good kid show. I watched it with my little sister when I was a kid, but I wasn't that age of a kid. But I used to watch it. I thought it was a really good show.
How about Boomhauer? It says
Nah, maybe like
Well,
a punk phase.
I like this part.
Yeah.
They say, did you know that Boomhauer regularly talks about his love of industrial rock legends Nine Inch Nails throughout the entirety of the series? Most overlook this because of his unintelligible speaking voice.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
I feel like he would be like more punk than goth. I
Yeah.
feel like you might
yeah,
see
sure.
him at a Sex Pistols concert with Liberty Spikes or
Mhm.
something like that.
I
That's
can see
that's
that.
how I see that.
Yeah.
I see he caught, because they're at that age where punk music would have came out when they were in their late teens, early 20s.
How about Lucky?
No.
Yeah,
Nah, not
I
even
don't think
remotely.
he ever had one.
I think Lucky is in the phase that he was in when he was
I
15.
think Bucky's the same person he's been since he turned 15.
And that's,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people like about Lucky is that he is unapologetically more so, maybe
Oh.
the only other character that's more unapologetically their self, well, not, I wouldn't even say more, but close to him is Bobby. So I feel like the two most unapologetic people in the show
That's true.
is Lucky and Bobby, because they don't try to be, Bobby does a couple of times where he tries to be somebody else, but I feel like Bobby and Lucky have the same age
Mm-hmm.
mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Oh, yeah,
they're
absolutely.
there.
How about SMA Dotrieve? It says much like
Nah,
her
she's
son.
too old.
Well, it says much like her son Gilbert. Bill's Aunt Esme is a total weirdo with an absolute aura of goth fuckery.
Golf
Which,
fuckery.
I mean, that's a decent point. How about Coach Kleehammer? Kleehammer, sorry.
Again, Coach Kleehammer listens to stuff like Tom T. Hall, Ernest Tubbs,
Sure.
the Carter sisters.
Carter sisters. It does say though the only reason Kleehammer isn't dead last on this list is due to the fact that no one knows his first name, which is pretty goth.
That
is kinda
could be
goth.
gothic.
All right, Joe Jack.
Nah, he's like I see him as like rockabilly.
It says he's definitely considered the goth path at least once, honey, but there's no way he'd try to hide it. So I think it's very true.
Yeah,
He is pretty one-dimensional. How about Pops?
too old. Definitely too old.
Yeah. While alive, he spent the majority of his time complaining about his neighbor's punk band,
Yeah.
so he's a narc. How about Good Hank?
Nah, because he would have. It would have been the post.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's like a post goth era. He would be too young.
This one's weird to me. How about Budasak?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He might give it a shot just to have something to say on stage.
I feel like Budasak grew up in a suburban neighborhood, and he's just a really funny guy
True.
out of a suburban neighborhood.
Very well could be. Let's see. Let's skip a couple. Peggy. She'll try anything once. Something that they say that she'll try anything once. She also doesn't make it a secret when she attempts anything. If Peggy ever has a goth phase, which is pretty likely, she'll likely be writing about 1,000 musings a day about it. Our personal favorite, they say the sun is not God, but his noblest image, which is why I, Peggy Hill, a goth, stay far, far away from it. That's pretty nice. All right. How about Octavio?
I don't. Maybe not a goth, but he's
Yeah.
got the Rob Zombie tattoo.
I definitely speed metal or like a zombie Rob
I feel
Zombie kind of thing.
like lowrider music,
Yeah.
and then like some of that like early, maybe some hair metal, like
Oh, absolutely.
Motorhead.
Well, it's like him. That's the yeah. It's like him and Boomhauer and Redcorn. I think they all kind of listen.
They all
kind of
listen to the same music, and all on cassette. Speaking of cassettes, I know you have your cassette podcast, Found Sound.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I was at Half Price Books the other day.
Okay.
And they've got they're on sale for like cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, 20 cents, whatever. But when you first walk in, they have huge containers just filled with them.
How about Thatherton?
No.
Okay, so here's the argument I have for that, right?
Okay, what's the argument? What you got?
It says we could absolutely see him pretending to be a goth in effort to sell propane to a Texas EDM club. And see, that's a good point. You absolutely could see him dressing up like a goth if that's what it took to sell a bunch of propane.
You could see that. You could. I'll level with it.
Patch Boomhauer, which I thought was a weird pull. You know, it's Boomhauer's long lost brother, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Like he's very secretive about stuff. So even if he did, I don't think you'd know.
I don't think you would know.
Lane Prattley.
No, definitely not.
It says Lane Prattley once pretended to be a devout Christian to get into Luann's poolside Bible study with the hopes of wooing her. So we're pretty sure he's donned eyeliner and bought a Susie and the Banshees record for similar reasons. Redcorn, we already talked about him. I think his love of hair metal keeps him out of that. Bill Dauterive, he's very depressed, and that fits, but still, I don't think being in the Army, I don't think he ever ran through that.
I don't think so either.
How about men?
I could definitely see.
I think she's dabbled.
I could definitely see like when they lived in Laos. They have these weird things. Well, so, like where Americans get mad about cultural appropriation, where they'll have like, say, if I was wearing a Japanese kimono, some white lady entitled to whatever would come up to me and tell me, oh, that's cultural appropriation. But in Japan, this is kind of similar, I guess, in a sense. They have this cholo culture. They have adopted in certain. They have like these subsects of the culture where they're doing the crip walk and they're bouncing lowriders. They're importing American cars. Like we import Japanese cars and do drifting and all that. They're importing American cars. All the old muscle cars and all the old lowriders, the Impalas and the big Buicks and
that's super
all
weird.
That stuff. And then the thing is, though, is they adopt it to the T. They buy the same checkered shirts and stuff, and they import it all. They import the Dickies, they import the checkered shirts, they import the cars, the all the parts for the cars are being imported. Wow. And they have like this whole culture, and that's like that all over the world. So I think that in Laos they might have had this underground goth culture, and I feel like that's how because they said they met at a concert.
That's true.
So they could have been rocking out with their socks out.
How about Jimmy Wichard?
I think Jimmy Wichard's older brother listens to goth music.
It says Jimmy Wichard is a pretty angry and susceptible guy. We can see him getting roped into the Misfits cover band pretty easily. He'd probably be surprisingly good. Danzig. The band would probably only play a few shows, but Jimmy would definitely keep up the devil lock look behind closed doors. They ask about Lady Bird, which that's ridiculous. How about Connie?
Yeah, I can see it. Older, like when they go through high school, like she goes through the same, like she's going through her mom's closet and she sees
think about the cousin
the high
that was doing the meth, and so if she were to hang around with her, I would imagine that's going to lead to some gothery.
I could see that.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got here. Luann. Says the explosion of Megalomart that claimed the life of her boyfriend Buckley certainly set Luann to a very dark place, but it didn't really hit the levels of your average goth. We're not sure if Luann even knows what a goth is, but she likely wouldn't be down with all the Satanism if she did.
I don't think she would be at all either,
Yeah, she would probably talk about how bad it is through the Manger Babies.
Yeah.
Buck, no. Kane Skrittenberg. I mean, since it's a guy from Green Day, I'm going to say, you could go through that easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily, yeah. Khan, I don't think so. He always wants to be first class. He wants to be a rich guy, not a goth guy. Principal Moss.
Well, they're all playing, like Kane Skrittenberg or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're all playing. They're in that rock band or whatever. So that's like
right. Yeah.
like when I was younger, listening to rock music. I didn't discover rock music until I moved to the United States when I was 6.
Okay.
My uncle listened to nothing but 102.5 The Bear.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of 80s and 70s rock was on 102.5 The Bear in 96. So I got this transition of music. So I went from like early rock music, like in the 50s and 60s on The Bear, and in the 70s and 80s stuff that my uncle listened to. And then once I got a little bit older, I dabbled in punk music. And I started going to punk shows. And then from there, I went on to these like gothic metal, death metal, hard metal shows. So there was like this transition. And when you go through this transition, the women get like prettier to me. Like I love like for like the gothic
like Elvira.
look. I like the gothic Elvira. Like I love that. And it's not for like,
well, it's like
that look's not for everybody.
It's almost like a Elvira meets a pinup model kind of thing, that's,
well, yeah.
You get a lot of that.
Well, that's like a meme on the internet. I don't know if I guess it's an incel meme you could call it, but it's like I want a goth girlfriend with big mommy milkers.
Love those, love those incels. Principal Moss, it says on the outside, Carl Moss may appear to be defeated and depressed middle-aged man just watching the days go by. On the inside, however, Moss is a very defeated and depressed middle-aged man watching the needles spin on his favorite Bauhaus record, just trying to keep the tears inside. Let's see. Let's skip a couple. Bobby. How about Bobby? You could definitely see.
Yeah,
Bobby
they go through it. I think he goes through it. Yeah,
1,000 times. Yeah. And then let's see. Hank. Let's skip up to Hank. Now here's the argument for Hank, because I mean, on the surface you would say no, but it says Hank loves Halloween so much that he once scolded Bobby for not picking a scary enough costume. He also organized a protest of a local religious leader when she successfully canceled the holiday in Arlen.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't indulge the fetish in private during the off season.
Oh.
How about Dooley? You're a goth.
I think he's kind of in that.
I think he's already there. He just needs some eyeliner.
In that realm.
It does say maybe if Bobby would just sacrifice a goat with him or something, he'd be less of a dick.
Yeah, probably.
How about Nancy?
Nah.
No way.
Nah, maybe not goth phase, but I see her as
she can do the pinup thing.
Well, it's
100%.
just a generational thing, like how the 50s stuff popped up in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Where they were doing the hair tease. That Grease came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
sure.
at the end of the 70s. When did the 70s? At the end of the 70s, Grease.
Yeah.
We're like 76, 77, 78.
It was 78, 79, something like that.
Yeah,
80,
yeah.
81.
So it has like for that Gen X again. It was like the I don't know. I call it the sock hop culture.
Sure.
But whatever it was, like the leather pants, greaser, like
78.
the greaser. That's what I was thinking. I could see her as doing the greaser thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
With the hot leather.
Oh,
I
100%.
could see her dressed as Sandy at the end of the movie.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
leather pants and the cigarette and all that stuff.
Are they dead at the end of that movie?
They're either
were they
dead,
dead all along?
or I think they're undergoing a psychedelic experience.
That could be it, too. Yeah, maybe they sat on a needle.
Near death, maybe. Maybe they're near death. Maybe they got in a really bad car wreck.
Could be.
And the car lifting up into the sky at the end is actually the car being towed away. And they're like in the hospital, like fighting for their lives.
Okay, so I've got two more for you. There is Dale.
Yeah.
Dale definitely. I think he probably would keep it a secret just so nobody would make fun of him in the alley.
I think so,
but
too.
I think he would do it in a heartbeat. And then last but not least, Chuck Mangione.
No. Too old again. Too old.
It says, we know, trumpet. I thought this was about goth, not ska. That's a good point. It says, listen, goth isn't about music. It's about life and how one lives it. Chuck Mangione lived at least part of his life hidden in a fort of paper towel displays in the Megalomart store. After hours, he would do freaky shit like price up his own albums, move his cardboard displays around to fuck with people. He claimed it was due to his relentless contract with the big box chain, but we know it was to live with his true goth life without prying eyes of others.
That's crazy.
It's a great article. It's,
I liked it. That was fun.
I like
That's
those
fun.
where they just make shit up like that. It's very funny.
That shit's fun, yeah.
So again, that is by Corey Montgomery, written 2023. King of the Hill characters ranked by how likely they are to have a closeted goth phase. And that is it for us on a Friday. We get a little weird on Fridays. Remember, we have a Patreon page, and we have just one tier, $3. If you can help us out, we'd sure appreciate it. It helps keep the lights on. Remember, the Monday episodes are on Spotify for video, YouTube for video, and then everywhere else you get your podcast as normal.
Yeah. Also on our YouTube page at youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH, we have reached enough followers or whatever to where we could do membership.
Yeah.
So what we might start doing is doing our live streams on the other side of that membership. You still get the videos and stuff, obviously, when they release.
Absolutely.
But we'll figure that out. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet.
Not a bad idea at all. I think that you're about to see our YouTube channel take a big leap, but more about that later. All right, so you want to tell them where else they can find us, or are we kind of done with that?
You can find us at bwaaaakoth.com. You could email me at bwaaaakoth@gmail.com, and you could also go over to our YouTube at youtube.com/bwaaaakoth. And if you go to our community page, there is a link there for some stickers. If you put your name in the hat, you will get pulled, because we're pulling all names out the hat. So we'll make sure you get some stickers pretty quick.
Also, check out the other shows on Rogue Media Network at
sure.
roguemedianetwork.com. We really appreciate it. We have a bunch of sports stuff now.
Yep.
An entire studio in the back
Rogue
set up just
Sports
to do sports.
Network.
Yeah. So we thank you guys for being here, and we will talk to you again on Monday.
Oui, Matanye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.